Hi, Karolina. Let's take a look at your new set. Book sales. Okay. The bar chart depicts the number. The bar chart depicts the number of books sold in 5 genres. Okay, fine. The majority of the books that were sold during the 3-year time period. Why? Because here the word year is acting as an adjective, and so you cannot put an S. So again, the majority of the books that were sold during the 3-year time period were romance books. The largest portion of these were sold in 2013 and 2015, when the total amount of romance books sold was over 1,500 in 2015. That doesn't make sense. Hold on. Okay. All right. Let's try that again. The largest portion of let me try it again from the beginning because I know I threw a these. Oh, right. The largest portion of these were sold in 2013 and 2015. And I didn't like this. This was really rather strange to me. Let me see. And I also think that you've misunderstood. Maybe that's the problem. I think you've misunderstood what a stacked bar chart is. When the total amount of romance books. Okay. So what you've got here is a stacked. Let me see if you understood this. Hold on one second. Let me just double check your figures here, okay? So fantasy, maybe you did understand it. All right, I'm going to hold off on that. I do have to tell you, though, that this for me was rather strange. So the largest portion of these sold. Oh, the largest portion of these were sold in 2013 and 2015. You could have said, and the total for the period was 1,500. That would have been okay. I'm going to hold off on commenting any more about this figure here. Fantasy and science fiction, both were the second most popular genres. Fantasy and science fiction. Fine. And the total sale for both categories was about $13.50. All right, good. So you did understand the stacked bar chart. Perfect. Most fantasy books. Okay. About 600 pieces were sold in 2015, whereas the most science fiction books were sold in 2013, comma, the number also being about 600. Okay. It looks more like around 5, but that's fine. That's not really a huge deal. The smallest number of books, careful with this, sold in 2013, 14, and 15 were mystery books, comma, the total number being around 1,000 mystery books. Okay. There was a steady decrease in the number of thriller books sold during the 3-year, again, no S here, period, steady decrease. Okay, good. And the total number of thriller books that were sold was just over. Fine. Okay, good. Overall, romance, fantasy, and science fiction were the top 3 genres, when thriller and mystery books were the least popular during the 3-year, again, time period. Okay, fine. I was concerned when I saw this that you didn't understand how to write about a stacked bar chart. You proved me wrong. You did. You showed it rather well in the other paragraphs, or in the other sentences. So that was fine. So what did you decide to do here? You decided to talk about the top 3 in this paragraph and the least 3 in this paragraph. You covered the totals, so that's good. You covered fantasy, total, and okay. Yeah, so I think you did a good job of this. Let me think if there's any other suggestions as far as organization are concerned. I mean, look, there are a lot of different ways you could do this. I think that what you did was successful. You didn't have a ton of information here. You had 20 pieces of data. So And the reason why I say 20 is you have the 5 categories, you have the 3 years, but not only do you have the 3 years, you have this total. Okay? And they definitely want you to pay attention to this total, and you did. You did that rather adequately. I'm wondering if maybe there could have been, no, actually you did it. You know what you maybe didn't do is maybe you could have talked a little more about the individual years. So for fantasy and for science fiction, you only talked about the highest year. I mean, it's okay. No one expects you to talk about every single piece of data. So, no, I think it's fine. I mean, could you have potentially maybe included 1 or 2 more data points? Yeah. I mean, if we're talking about the difference between like a 7 and an 8, for example, then yes, perhaps you could have. But I do think you did a good job of this overall. I do want you to be careful with the grammar. You had some grammar mistakes with articles. So really, 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 we need to be careful about this. So depicts the number of books. When you say the number of the books, it's as if we know which books you're talking about, but we don't here because this is the first time you're talking about them. Here, then, you did need the majority of the books that were sold because you're explaining to us which books you're referring to. Okay, so I really want you to revise some of these rules about articles and how we use the in English. Find a really good grammar resource that covers this issue, okay, and try to revise and review some of this information. Okay, let me see. Is this all you sent us? Let me see. So thanks for your email. Yeah, it turns out that it was just a single essay correction, so that's fine. So that brings us to the end of this correction. Okay, once again, take a look at the links in the email with this video so you can see the different opportunities you have to work with us further. Okay, I know I'd love to continue working with you and helping you get to your IELTS goals. Okay, so hopefully we'll see more work from you in the future. I look forward to it. Good luck.